welcome to Seesar Gear. Today, we're going to be talking about the synthesizer that is A Place to Bury Strangers' previous album. I think they've got a new one coming out, or maybe it's out already. As a matter of fact, I heard a track from it today, and it was fantastic, so I can't wait to get my paws on it. But this album came out, I believe it was 2004, and it is a PCB album cover that allows you to build a synthesizer from your album that you've bought. And that's just, it's like, what a great catchy idea, I guess. But the thing is it's functional. It's not just, like a gimmicky kind of thing, like, oh no, let's build something that's kind of fun. You could use it if you want, but it's really just a gimmick to get people to buy the album. Wrong. That is not the case at all. The situation is actually that it is a complex and exciting, very adventurous synthesizer, I'll say. It's analog. There's some mostly there's obviously some digital IC bits here, but it is basically an analog synthesizer that is extremely exploratory. So you can use it to create sounds by itself. You can use it to process effects for other things. You have an external input. You also have an external trigger if you're looking to do something rhythmically, I guess, or want to link it somehow to another synth. There's that, and it was an easy thing to build. I got it, just as a plain PCB with a bunch of parts, and it is professional. It is professionally designed. It is wonderful to play. It sounds really good. I've used it in a few gigs so far. I'll probably end up using it some more in other gigs, but I know I will. I don't know why I'm saying probably. I definitely will. What I'm exploring now is using it more as an effects processor. Up till now, I've been using it as just the synth itself. And at this point, backflips of recommendation. It has been such a good thing to have, so much fun. And yeah, it was I'm going to say pricey. I'm not sure that it was. It was, for the kit, I ended up paying about $300 for the kit. Now, that doesn't mean that's what you're going to find at any point, because as far as I know, these have sold out. You can only get it as a used or secondhand, previously owned, whatever you want to call it, setup. There are several available I've seen online that are fully built. So if you don't want to do the soldering, you just want to get it, start twisting the knobs like Pierre from Future, you can do that. And that's at the pricing I found at the time of this filming was about $450 US. Like I said, when I got it used, but sadly without the record. Luckily, I have heard the record and know the music forwards and backwards, because the record itself is also fantastic. But mine did not come with the record, which is possibly why it was a lower price. But it certainly was a good value. I don't have any problems with the amount of money that I paid for it, given the fact that it was easy to build, it was fun, it was instantly rewarding, I'll say that. And it has been just an absolute pleasure to incorporate into my soundscapes, and I've recorded with it. I've gone on stage with it. I've done jam sessions with friends with it. I bought a little record bag for it from, I think it was Temu actually, but it's like a little case that's supposed to be for records. Well, guess what? It's record sized. So the record case has been perfect for this. So I have a little carry bag for it to keep it from being protected. Keep it from being protected. What's wrong with me? Anyway, I will give another couple of little secrets here. First of all, the back is the album cover, and it is also touch plates it's the grounding plate basically, and you can actually touch it and do some stuff with that sonically speaking. I put down these bench cookies. Now, I don't know if bench cookies are the best thing to be doing, but what I'm doing is I just raising it up off of the table, only because there's certain little bits that could get ensnared on my table covering here, but that doesn't mean that you can't do that. I think it's probably fine to lay flat on a surface, but it does have leads that stick up when you're finished making the synth. Uh-oh. I accidentally started a noise. So, yeah, well, I guess since I've started noises, I'll start some noises. I like to go through the controls, because when I'm looking for a bit of gear, I always want to see whether or not it just has the things that I want in a synth, or if it can, pull off the things I want to do, or if it's going to confuse me, or if there's things I don't need. So let's talk about things. I'm not going to go left to right because it's kind of jumbled, but I'll try to cover everything if I can. This is your main oscillator, and then you have two other oscillators. You have ways of making those oscillators interact with each other, and I'll get to that in a second. You have a noise generator and two different types of noise. You have an envelope generator, and you have a way that you can sweep the envelope, and a way you can extend the decay or shorten the decay. Then you have an LFO, and this is the LFO speed and the LFO depth. You have a filter, and this is just kind of a general all over filter, but it's fine. It gives you different textures. This is your master volume, and there are actually two volumes, sort of. This is a volume for the main instrument, and then you have two echo units. That's called the echo chamber, if you can see that on the board there, and they have their own volume controls, and they do work in conjunction with this, but they are separate in that when you delay a sound and then you turn the main volume down, you have this volume continuing with the echoes until you either turn this down or the echo decays. And then, of course, you have your echo controls to work with that. So you have your time of the delay, between the delays, and then you have the feedback of the delays plus the volumes. So over here, you've got a contact pickup, and it's, I believe it's wired into the external in and the trigger. So if you want to keep time with something, or if you want to do scratchy stuff or whatnot, you can do that to send a signal through the system. There's a switch for sources. You have the trigger source, or you have oscillators working with each other. You have the external in, or the trigger, or it's off. And I've got it off because I don't have anything in at the moment. And then you have something that it says oscillator 2 and 3 run free. And actually what's going on there is that links them back to working with the other synthesizers. And here's what I'm going to call the experimental sauce. This is 2 mapping, I guess they're capacitors or resistor pots. I'm not really sure. They're switches, effectively. Let's just say they're switches because they're basically just switches. And you have one that works with the LFO and the envelope, and then you have one that works with oscillators 1 and 2. Excuse me, 2 and 3. These 2 oscillators. So let's say what I've got it set on right now is I've got it where oscillator 2 is paired with oscillator 1, and oscillator 3 is also paired with oscillator 1. But you can have that go to the overall mix. You can have that go to the VCF. You can have that go to the envelope. So there's different things you can pair together. And then over here, the LFO and envelope are paired to oscillator 2 and oscillator 1. And again, you have a range of different selections, the VCA, the VCF, different combinations, so that you can pick how you want the circuits to affect each other. And that's been really fun, as well as I haven't gone through all of these at all. Not even remotely. There's so many things that I haven't figured out exactly how or what to do yet that I need to do a lot more exploring. This synth has already seen untold hours of use, and I'm still finding out how things interact. Yeah, there you go. That's my story. I'm sticking with it. Let's see what some of the sounds are like. It's an analog synth. You're not going to be surprised by some of the sounds, but I think you might be surprised at the functionality in the ways in which the circuits work with each other. It's super well designed. I really find it to be an inviting instrument. It's been oodles of fun to work with, and I see no end anytime soon. This has been a kind of a go-to instrument for many of my little excursions here and there. So here we go. Let's make some sounds. right, there you have a little example. There's some excellent square wave interaction that's going on here. You have a triangle or square format that you can use for this third oscillator, and it is definitely expansive, that it gives the opportunity to have some stepped notes, which I find really fun to do. So in a way, it ends up sounding a little bit like a weird sound generator, but with all the extra stuff, it expands it much farther sonically. So there's it's a nice touch to be able to have these simple interactions give you such rich sounds. I also find that maybe it's the way I've built it or something, I'm not sure. This echo pot has a cutoff, meaning not a frequency cutoff, but at some point when you've lowered the volume to a certain amount, it loses so much power it just chops it clean. So I find that if I have the main volume going and the other echo volume going, I can fade this one out, and you either don't hear it, or maybe it covers it electronically or voltage wise, such that you don't hear the jump in this one. I don't know if that's something I've done. It probably is. Let's face it. I always think of myself as an amateur at best, even though maybe I'm not. But in terms of electronics, yeah, I'm still definitely learning. But it's so much fun to build this too. I had a really good time doing all the soldering and stuff. It's been a quite a journey with this one, and I've only had it about a year, maybe a little longer, but it's been worth it. It's been worth it, absolutely. And I think I've said this already, maybe I didn't. The album itself is fantastic. So if you like this kind of material, and what I mean by that, I suppose I should qualify, and I don't mean for this to be a review or for me to put into words something that the band doesn't want me to have me say, but I would call it some shoegaze with a New York attitude. I would say it's something like My Bloody Valentine mixed with Throbbing Gristle, and it's got a really nice level of catchiness mixed with harshness, and it's definitely got great energy. It's got hooks that pull you through. A bad idea. I get this song stuck in my head all the time these days because it's such a clever little hook with the vocals and hook with the effects unit. Now, supposedly, I don't know where I read this, but supposedly every track uses the synthesizer somehow. And if I recall from listening to the album multiple times, that's probably more guitar effect processing than anything else, and some vocal processing, because there's definitely some of that gristleizer, some of that Chris Carter kind of feel to how things are processed, and they'd use this to do it, which is a testament, I should say. So if you have a chance to check it out, there is in fact a lot of value to the quality of this collection of tracks, just as much as there is the quality to this synthesizer. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see other stuff, there's SeesarMusic.com/gear. There's my Instagram, Seesar_music, if you want to hear about my music or my composition project. Or if you want to hear about more gear stuff, there's Seesar_gear on Instagram. And that's it. We'll see you in the next one.